My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here. Today is May 11, 2023. It is 12:32 a.m. All right, just got up and I need to start recording to get some things out of the way, because before I went to sleep, I was checking my phone and I was seeing some stuff. It's like every devices that I go onto, Twitter is showing completely different set of things. So I just added about 4 or 5 tweets onto my list, which now ended up being 22 tweets. I don't know if I'm gonna go over all of them, but I put the most important ones on top. Once I get tired, whatever I cannot record, that'll be it. So this is what's going on. All right, so let's get started. Go Harry. Piers Morgan desperately trying to avoid admitting the truth that he listened to illegally obtained voicemail. All right, so it's 1 minute and 57 seconds.
It was a tape of a voicemail message, wasn't it?
Well, I'm not going to discuss where I heard it or who played it to me for the reasons I've discussed. I don't think it's right, and in fact the inquiry has already stated to me you don't expect me to identify sources.
No, but I think we do expect you to identify what is obvious to anyone reading it, is that you listened to a tape of a voicemail message. Is that correct?
I listened to a tape of a message, yes.
But it was a voicemail message, wasn't it?
I believed it was, yes.
It was heartbreaking. The couple had clearly had a tiff. Heather had fled to India and Paul was pleading with her to come back. And then he even sang something into the answer phone, as you say. So you listened to all of that. Did you know that that was unethical?
Not unethical, no.
Why not?
It doesn't necessarily follow that listening to somebody speaking to somebody else is unethical.
But on the tape of a voicemail message, you didn't think that was unethical?
Well, it depends on the circumstances in which you're listening to it.
But can you tell us something about the circumstances which might lead us to think that it was not unethical?
I'm afraid I can't, no, because I'm not going to do anything that may identify the source.
Well, let's give it this way, think about it this way, Mr. Morgan. Without identifying your source, the only person who would lawfully be able to listen to the message is the lady in question or somebody authorised on her behalf to listen to it. Isn't that right?
Possibly.
I am perfectly happy to call Lady McCartney to give evidence as to whether she authorised you to listen to her voicemails.
Oh, this is getting good. Okay, I look into that. This is a YouTube video. I'm not even bothering going.
It was a tape of a voicemail message, wasn't it?
Bothering sharing with you. You could go on YouTube and search for the full thing. I'm just sharing what I see here. Okay, Piers Morgan, who hacked a dead child's phone, illegally hacked celebrities' voicemail and lied about our troops. This is what Piers Morgan doesn't want you to see. All right, and not, is that the same thing? All right, let's see here. Oh, maybe not. Let's go into that and then I'll come back out. Where is the... okay.
Into recordings of what you knew to be illegally obtained voicemail messages.
I do not believe so, no.
Well, you either did or you didn't. I don't think it's a question of belief. Did you authorise Mr. Morgan to access your voicemail?
Never.
Did you authorise Mr. Morgan to listen to your voicemail?
Never ever.
And have you ever played to Mr. Morgan or authorised him to listen to a recording of this or any other voicemail left on your messaging system?
Never.
We need to go one stage further. Have you ever done that in relation to anybody?
No. I saw it on a daily basis in 1999, especially the latter half of 1999, where I would go as far as to say that it happened every day, and that it became apparent that a great number of the Mirror's show business stories would come from that source.
Piers Morgan very much set the trend. He was, I want that story at all costs, pretty much. I don't care what you have to do.
Did the show business journalists take any steps to hide their phone hacking activities from managers?
No.
He then explained that the way to get access to people's messages was to go to the factory default setting and press either 000 or 1234, and that if you didn't put on your own code, his words, you're a fool.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Any more videos? Okay, let's read some of the comment and then I'm gonna go back out of this. Okay, let's mute this. Okay, Piers Morgan and others hacked or used hacked sources for their report or book writing were fast rising in their careers and made lots of money. They are the criminals behind their journalist face. And this man walked free, and not only free, his career thrived. I really don't understand. Okay, unbelievable. Piers Morgan. Okay, how was he allowed a career after Leveson? Okay, I think they're starting to get to the bottom of it, and something happened where it stopped. You know, they probably pay people to stop the investigation, the Leveson inquiry. Is there any chance of consequences for Morgan, or will it all blow over again? The second phase of the Leveson inquiry never occurred. Why? Because they were getting to the bottom of it and they didn't want it to continue. Oh, the Britishness of it all. Piers is drowning. Alright. To the other corrupt scumbag, sue him, Harry. Alright, there's more articles. Okay. Why didn't the industry banish Piers Morgan long ago? That he keeps getting gigs makes all journalists look bad. Well, this is one of those things where I've been saying in other videos, they got their peoples in all bases, so they were secure. They knew, in my humble opinion, you know, their bodies will never out them, so they feel comfortable to continue doing what they're doing. Like when Harry made complaint to IPSO, okay, what did they tell him? They tell him the papers didn't do anything wrong. So from this point on, Harry never go to them anymore to complain. Harry go straight to the court, and people was complaining. Why is Harry always suing? Because their bodies are in places to ignore. Alright, so this is what makes it, this thing gets to this point, because nobody was gonna do anything about it at the expense of regular Brits and Harry. Okay, his family, in my humble opinion, were in bed with the tabloid, so they left him to the wolves. So now he has to protect himself and his family, his little family that he created. Like the squad been saying, they should have left Meghan alone. Okay, this, okay, Sussex event, tag a whole bunch of other people. This, okay, at Piers Morgan also lied about the British military while they were overseas serving their country, putting their lives in much more danger. What was it when Harry, when they disclosed where Harry was deported? Not deported, what's the term? When he was in the military, I think he was in Iraq. He had to leave because they knew where he was, and it makes it more dangerous for the soldiers who were around him. Okay, Piers Morgan, a criminal. Why has he not been censored by all media and been condemned by the British courts, friends in high places, or does he have blackmail materials on certain people? I think this is one of those things where they're gathering information on everybody so people could comply. There are things, you know, you're talking privately, you don't want people to hear. They use that against you in order for you to comply. Okay, what a criminal. All right, so let's go back. So that was that. Okay, this is why Piers Morgan is so pissed. Okay, he reminds me of Tucker Carlson. Mango, one and the same. Okay, except from his book The Insider by Piers Morgan. This was published in 2005. Okay. Apparently, if you don't change the standard security code that every phone comes with, then anyone can call your number, and if you don't answer, tap in the standard 4-digit code to hear all your messages. I'll change mine just in case, but it makes me wonder how much public figures and celebrities are aware of this little trick. He's already telling him himself. Okay. I had to retweet Piers Morgan, who hacked a dead child's phone, illegally hacked celebrities' voicemail, and lied about our troop. This is what Piers Morgan doesn't want you to see. Okay, I think that's the thing I just listened, so I'm not gonna listen to it again. Go Harry, there's this image. Okay, Piers is a dangerous blowhard. Every country has a journalist like this. Would love to see him charged and tossed in jail for crimes. Why? He is guilty and he knows it. It is online. I'm so done with journalists not answering questions truthfully so as to not reveal a source. It is petulant behavior that only they get away with. He was arrogant then, he's arrogant now. He needs to be humble ASAP. I mean, you could understand this was something. In other words, these people, the UK cracked the code of ethic when it comes to journalists. If they were really honest with their things, you could understand why this specific thing happened for journalists, because it is very dangerous when they're reporting on things. They're supposed to be the messenger. Okay, you have politicians, you have all sort of people doing unethical things, right? So you could understand people of power when journalists know about that whatever it is that they're doing, and then they reported on it, and people who, how do they call this, they have a name for it, whistleblower. Okay, whistleblower lives might be in danger. This was the purpose of it. This was the purpose of it, for when there is a whistleblower who knows something unethical that's gonna happen and is gonna affect the public, and they talk about it in order to protect themselves and tell the journalists this kind of thing, right? So the journalists have the right to not tell his sources. That way the person who told him this kind of information could not be killed. Okay, so what these people in the UK have done, they hack onto people's information, right? And then they report on it. They didn't have that middleman anymore. They become all of it. They hacked onto people's phone, and then they tell the story, and then they make it seem like it is a source. This is where they crack the code and ruin everything for a lot of journalists. Because he is a coward, Piers just another inconsequential Brit. Harry did what was best for his family. He is an honorable man. Okay, well done, Harry. Piers Morgan will end up disgraced and bankrupt. Perfect match for Pauline Hanson. Okay, I don't know who's Pauline Hanson. What an arrogant little man. Biggest scum on the planet. I mean, you could understand why. Because he's on the hot seat right now. So he's trying not to say things. Alright, so this was the original thing. Okay, so I'm done with it. Right? Okay, Piers Morgan, 146, 146. So these are the same thing. Okay. Alright, so let's go to the next tweet. I wanted to make sure I got all of the videos. Okay, it looks like the only royal performing some useful civic duty is Prince Harry. I am not a royalist, but he deserves a bravo. All right, and this is the thing. Harry understands his position. Okay, the other royals who are somewhat will be to the throne, they do not understand their position, so they make them afraid of things for whatever it is. But then again, when you think about it, Harry grew up in it, and then they abuse him, they threw him to the wolves, so he's used to being abused, so now he's immune to the abuse. He's like, there's nothing to be afraid for anymore. So that's why he's taking a stand, because now they're passing on that same nonsense that he and his mother went through. And then his mother died because of that. Okay? So now he is at a place where he wants peace. He wants peace of mind. He wants peace with his little family that he created. Now they're preventing him from having that peace of mind. He did say it. He did say why he's gonna go meet his family to Canada. Meghan and Archie, right? He want a peaceful life.
The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option. What I want to make clear is we're not walking away, and we certainly aren't walking away from you. Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth and my military associations, but without public funding. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. I've accepted this, knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am. But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. Understand what it had come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life.
Now they're following him, even though I think this case was filed a long time ago, but whatever. But you could understand why he's still going through it. He's pursuing it because he wants peace of mind, a peaceful life. He said it, but the people continue. Why? Because they all have people in important places where they could get away with it. So he had enough. So he's taking it all away. Because there's nothing to lose anymore, because he's seen the consequences of their action. He can't keep on running. Okay? He can't keep on running anymore. He has to face it and then deal with it. Whatever happens from this point on, it happened because he has to deal with it. Because there's no reason to keep on running. Look at this. He left the UK. Piers Morgan, the same guy that was in the video, literally told his wife to leave the UK.
You're public people, all of you. In that moment, you're public people. Stop your squealing about privacy. We don't want to hear it.
Piers,
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
You don't have to go back to America, by the way.
She does. She's an American.
You don't have to go back.
She doesn't want to be...
She's married an Englishman.
She doesn't want to be
She
a
wants
British
to live
public
here.
figure in the royal family. Go back to America. It's a joke. Go back to America. It's a joke.
So they left. Okay? They literally took his advice and left. What did they do, and what did this guy continue doing? Still talking about his wife. So now, why run anymore? Why run? Face the consequences, face the bull in front of his faces, and deal with that and put it to rest. And then the best thing with Harry, he is doing it legally. He's not doing anything stupid on the side that could get him in trouble. He's doing it legally through the courts. This is why I say the courts were the only thing, the institution the UK has that's holding the UK by the thread. Because everything that I've seen is corrupt. And I don't know what to say anymore. If the court is messed up, like the way we see, well, the US is still holding on, but I'm making a comparison between the UK and the US is that the GOP goes straight to the Supreme Court, the last court, the highest court of the land, the Supreme Court. They ruin it as well. If you see what's going on right now, as of May 11, 2023, what's going on with the Supreme Court, it is rotten to the core. So they go and mess it up to the top. So that way, if the lower level, okay, they go straight to the snake. The same thing Harry's doing right now. Go straight to the snake. The GOP in the US went straight to the snake, the top of the top of the court, which is the Supreme Court, and then ruin it. So that way, when the lower courts, okay, whatever, because these people have money, they have money to waste, so they could make their case go all the way to the top of the Supreme Court. That way, the Supreme Court could easily turn a blind eye as well. But what we're doing right now in the US, we are filtering. Okay, we're looking into everything, why the Supreme Court is messed up. Okay, so if we vote properly and we put the right people in power to continue this, we will be okay. Because those people, I don't know, the greed. You have the top job, the Supreme Court, where you cannot nobody cannot fire you. You live in your own term, whether you die or you decided to retire. This is the only way you could leave that job. Nobody can take it away from you. But yet, they still see the need to take money from the side. It's not like they're doing it for free. I don't know how much they're getting paid for being a Supreme Court. I could look it up. Okay? But yet, they still see the need to be greedy to get extra money. My goodness. Alright? So, this is the thing that's going on in the UK right now. Harry went straight to the top and then cutting the snake at the head. Okay, I don't want to romanticize things too much, but the parallels of young Prince Hall and Shakespeare's Henry IV, part 1 and 2, spring to my head. I hated Shakespeare when I was in high school. They're making me read it. I'm like, oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm not putting this person down. This is not to say it's bad, but that's me. I'm not into those things at all. Especially the wording, the English version of, the wording of things. It wasn't my thing. Okay, he kicks out his youthful partying with Falstaff and friends. Then he gets serious. Okay, the tabloid don't just target those in the public eye. They've also targeted regular members of the public who've found themselves involved in a story. Prince Harry has personally reason for taking this case, but it affects all of us. Good on him for having the guts to do it. Yeah, what is it? The brother took cash and to not make it further. And then if this were to continue, look at he took the money to shut his mouth, not to bring it to court. Okay, so which means the court system will never hear that part of it, and they will continue and do as if nothing ever happened. But Harry is not taking the money. He's going the hard way. Okay, yes, I recall women snotty in the 80s exposing these antics in Channel 4 program called Hard News. Those in the lower stratas of the social pyramid were targeted mercilessly. I mean, this is not the way to live. My goodness. Think you need to read up a bit on Harry. He left the royal family as a working royal and has done nothing since. Basically, he's exiled, but he can't let go and live his life because he needs to make money from the connection. What the hell is this? Oh, please. Okay. Oh God, that's not the point I'm making. I don't care about the royals. I'm now a firm Republican. Please think about the tweet as it was written and to that which it refers, please. I mean, yeah, they have to insert themselves to from what I'm seeing so far, I think there's a tweet that I came across. They're pointing the fingers at the royal family. Can you list his civic duties? I might be missing something. He doesn't have any because he turned his back. Okay, that's the point. He doesn't have to do this. He is doing it because he feels compelled to do so. Okay. That's one. I'm not gonna go through all of that. So still not listing his civic contribution. Read my answer with discerning minds. Alright. Harry needs to do that. Okay. There is absolutely no reason for him to do it because they keep on attacking him personally along with his little family. Okay. So let's move on. This is going to a different point of view. Let's move on. Okay. Next tweet. Okay. London AP. UK tabloid publisher Mirror Group admits unlawfully gathering info on Prince Harry but denies hacking his phone. Okay, so there's this. Finish them. What is it? I have a video. I think I call it The Illusion. Okay, if you look at all the parts I have at the end where, yeah, I have something similar to that. Not this, but something similar to that. Okay, they really try to say this man lied. I feel they're only fessing up early to avoid full exposure. Let's not forget his trashbag's father and Camilla's roles in steering him and his wife and the press as well. Okay, let's listen to this. Oh, I got a hiccup.
Labour Member of Parliament Chris Bryant understands what it's like to be monstered. Hi there, it's Chris Bryant. Leave a message after the tone and I'll try and get back to you. Many thanks, bye.
They threatened.
Yeah.
And they humiliated you.
Yes.
And that was standard practice.
I think it was pretty standard practice for anybody who got in the way.
Bryant got in the way at this parliamentary committee hearing back in 2003, when he got Rebecca Brooks, then editor of The Sun, to make an astonishing admission. Brooks was one of Rupert Murdoch's most trusted associates and would become chief executive of his British newspapers. A friend and confidant of prime ministers, she appeared at the hearing with her colleague Andy Coulson, editor of News of the World. What was the run-up to that? Why were they appearing before you?
We were doing a report on privacy and media intrusion. The issue of how you set about getting information is also, of course, a matter of importance. I mean, it was just a hunch. You know, sometimes you just have a hunch in politics. Do either of your newspapers ever use private detectives, ever bug or pay the police?
We have paid the police for information in the past, and it's been...
Andy Coulson, who was sitting beside her, tried to say, but only within the law. And I pointed out, but it's a criminal offence. It's corrupting a police officer, suborning a police officer.
The same holds for private detectives, for subterfuge, for video bags, whatever you want to talk about.
It's illegal for police officers to receive payments.
No, we don't. I just said within the law.
And then the chairman decided to close the meeting for some bizarre reason. I would much prefer to have been able to carry on.
Thanks very much. We're both grateful for your evidence.
So I then tried to get other newspapers interested. Hardly anybody even bothered to run the story. And I kept on trying to raise it, but you know, there comes a point at which you feel as if you're banging your head against a wall. And of course then 6 months later, those two newspapers did me over good and proper. They hacked my phone and they ran some pretty hideous stories about my sexuality.
He got monstered. As a former vicar, a gay politician.
Wow. You could see who was their buddies, but they probably paid to stop that thing from going further. Okay, what's this?
And these big newspaper owners, largely non-tax-paying newspaper owners, are living above the law and invading the privacy of people whose kids have been killed in a road accident or whatever to get the sensational article. And no one dares to take them on in Britain because they're so scared of them, especially the politicians. And that's why politicians really, in my country, are chosen by the press. Our Prime Minister is largely chosen by dint of how much he's sucked up to the newspaper barons. So that's what my campaign is about.
Do you think that Brexit has ruined your country?
Well, I do. He said with a
wow.
And these
all right, let's get to this.
Before Meg was due to give birth, Willie rang. I took the call in our new garden. Something had happened between him and Pa and Camilla. I couldn't get the whole story. He was talking too fast and was way too upset. He was seething, actually. I gathered that Pa and Camilla's people had planted a story or stories about him and Kate and the kids, and he wasn't going to take it anymore. Give Pa and Camilla an inch, he said. They'd take a mile. They'd done this to me for the last time. I got it. They'd done the same to me and Meg as well. But it wasn't them, technically. It was the most gung-ho member of Pa's comms team. A true believer who devised and launched a new campaign of getting good press for Pa and Camilla at the expense of bad press for us. For some time, this person had been peddling unflattering stories, fake stories, about the heir and spare, to all the papers. I suspected that this person had been the lone source for stories about a hunting trip I'd made to Germany in 2017. Stories that made me out to be some fat-bottomed 17th century baron who craved blood and trophies, when in reality, I was working with German farmers to cull wild boar and save their crops. I believed the story had been offered as a straight swap, in exchange for greater access to Pa, and also as a reward for the suppression of stories about Camilla's son, who'd been gadding around London, generating tawdry rumours. I was displeased about being used like this, and livid about it being done to Meg, but I had to admit, it was happening much more often lately to Willie. And he was justifiably incandescent. He'd already confronted Pa once about this woman, face to face. I'd gone along for moral support. The scene took place.
Wow. Okay. The squad are putting their things together.
She answered straight away.
Shortly after our private summits with her, she began to play the long game, a campaign aimed at marriage and eventually the crown, with Paul's blessing, we presumed. Stories began to appear everywhere, in all the papers, about her private conversation with Willie, stories that contained pinpoint accurate details, none of which had come from Willie, of course. They could only have been leaked by the one other person present. There's no part of any of the things that I've said are scathing towards any member of my family, especially not my stepmother. There are things that have happened that have been incredibly hurtful. Some in the past, some current. No institution is immune. But she answered straight away. Shortly after our private summits with her, she began to play the long game, a campaign aimed at marriage and eventually the crown, with Paul's blessing, we presumed. Stories began to appear everywhere, in all the papers, about her private conversation with Willie, stories that contained pinpoint accurate details, none of which had come from Willie, of course.
Oh,
it could only have been leaked by the one other person present. There's no part of any of...
Okay, it's playing over. It's only 45 minutes. It's playing over. All right, so like I've said in some other videos, Harry was voice of reasoning. This is why they had to get him out of there. He was voice of reasoning. And then for some reason, I don't know why, these people always go along with the voices of negativity. They listen to the negative part to implement their will. Okay, like Charles and William and all of that, the people who tells them the negative thing, that's the thing they listen to. But you had Harry, who was right next to them, voice of reasoning. If you remember, when I in one video I was saying Harry was too close to all of people of the royal family who's in position of making decision. He was close to the Queen, which he was a grandson, close to Charles, which is his father, and William, which is his brother. So he was the only smart person over there. So they had to divide them. They had to divide them. Okay, this is why the British media have been after him and his wife. They know he is coming for them with receipt. Well, they mess with the right one. Go, Harry, do it for your mom too. Finish them, Harry. That's the break. The break. Harry will avenge his mom's death. Aha, quote, well, yeah, of course, we did that, but hell no, we didn't do that. We didn't do it that way. Mirror Group is cooked, and this will be the first time in my life that I'll be rooting for royalty. Okay, nah, they did that too. At some point, some reporters need to see some serious prison time, or this will keep happening. Yeah. Okay, there's the clap. Good King Harry. Harry is known all along what was up with UK Tabloid, and this is a bit of vindication. Ghislaine Maxwell's dad on this one for a while. What an ugly bunch. The thing is, this thing goes deeper than that. This goes way deeper than that. Okay, look how the US and the UK are going to somewhat similar things. There is someone much bigger than this. Okay, if you've been watching my PYTE from all of my videos, there are different things that I bring up. You probably will have an idea who's truly behind it. Okay, not the Murdoch. Yes, Murdoch is involved, but there's someone else. I'm not gonna say because I cannot prove it, but there is someone else. But the name have come up in many other articles that I've shared with you, where some of the royal family have been corrupted by this particular person. Okay, and the main thing was, what I think, in my humble opinion, the mastermind behind this, what they wanted to do at some point were the UK and the US to collide again, because these two countries are the two most powerful countries that prevent the rest of the evil doers from doing crazy things around the world. Okay, I'm not saying the US have some major issues too. Okay, I'm not, excluding the US from this type of thing, but who's really behind this? What happened is that in the US, it's the same group as well. Okay, the GOPs, where they consistently creating wars, doing the same group. Okay, that are outside of the US, the same group. But when it comes, because what's preventing the GOPs from continuously doing the unethical things, even when they are in power. If you look, when the GOP is in power, they're the one who's almost always create wars. When the Democrats are in power, they try to avoid that. Look at, for instance, the President Obama. There were many instances where things could have continued or go further. Some of you might say Trump stopped what was going on in Afghanistan, but when you look at the unethical things that went behind them, free so many prisoners, so many people work hard, these kind of things, they all part of it. If you really, truly, when you're reading this stuff and you look deeper into the issues, you will have an idea. Okay? Whoever's in the US, whoever's in the UK, who in some group outside of these two countries, they are all the same. Okay? They're working together for whatever crazy reason it is that they're doing. But there are some good people in all of those countries who's preventing them from continue the things. So what the mastermind was trying to do is, at some point, is to get the UK and the US to have another war. Okay? 1776 wasn't good enough, so they were trying to repeat it again, to do another version, to pretty much eliminate each other, so that way they could continue and do their thing. Okay? I don't have I'm not gonna say the name of this particular person, but I have a pretty good idea, and I don't have proof to say, and this is why I'm not saying it. Okay, so there's more comment. Let's move on. Next tweet. Okay, there's that. A day to remember. V-SIP Sussex Squad, Prince Harry versus Mirror. Alright, so there's this here. Mirror publisher apologizes to Harry at hacking trial. Editors, including Piers Morgan, authorized use of privacy. Investigators as millions spent snooping on Charles, Diana, and celebrities. Alright, let's see if I could read this. It's smaller than that. Okay, the publisher of the Daily Mirror has reservedly apologized to the Duke of Sussex for one instance of unlawful information gathering as a trial began and to claim of phone hacking yesterday. Lawyers for Prince Harry says Mirror Group newspaper spent millions on private investigators to track celebrities and targeted the then Prince of Wales and Diana, Harry, and a number of celebrities, including the estate of the singer George Michael, are bringing claims against MGN. The court was told the systemic use of private investigators by journalists to unlawfully obtain private information was authorized by senior journalists, including the former editor Piers Morgan. When people look back and what's happening right now, you know, I'm talking about people who's in the future looking back at us now, they will see who were the true heroes in this moment. Because things, I've said it in other videos, when your how do you call this, your great-grandsons or great-grandkids are looking back into this time, when they're doing research, who they related to, once they point to, let's say, whoever those people who's fighting the newspapers, one of their names popped up, let's say Prince Harry or Meghan, who sued the paper for privacy case, or let's say who else, the I don't know, Elton John. Okay, when his great-grandkids look back in time and see his name in these instances and say they stood up and fought this powerful, and we don't know how powerful they are now. Once this case is over, we're gonna start seeing the domino effect, how powerful they were. We don't even know. So once their great-grandkids see the overall picture of things, they will feel so proud of their parents, their great-grandparents, how courageous and bravery they were. Like Harry's kids, okay, his son and daughter and his grandkids, his future great-grandkids, when they look back now, they're gonna feel so proud of Harry, whether he win or lose this case, and I think he's gonna win it. Okay, so they're gonna feel so proud to be related to him. But when you look at the other brother, yes, he is in power right now. This is the time where he should have stood up firm And especially when he saw his mom went through some stuff. You know, and he's the oldest one. He should have known better. This is where the part where his great-grandkids are going to feel really ashamed of him. Okay, and at the same time as well, when Harry's side of the family is looking back, at least they have a buffer, someone they could feel so proud of, to say, oh my God, look at my great-grandpa who was in that high-class society where he didn't have to leave. Okay, he was so comfortable. This is a place of power and money and everything you could have dreamed of. He left it because it was unethical. They were doing unethical things. He left it because he felt like it was the right things to do, to leave. And then for the newspaper who harassed his mother and him, and now they were an extension to his wife, and he had to put a stop to it. These are the great-grandkids, his great-grandkids, gonna feel so proud of. Okay, so this is the thing here. Okay, the only apology that should be offered is a check that drains their bank account and Morgan to jail. Or okay, everything is fine, right? Okay, and my goodness. All right, so let's go to the next tweet. This was a short tweet, less comment, but I went on. All right, next tweet. When I woke up, this was what I saw. I had to arrange my list in a way where everything fits perfectly, because if I had put this first, you will not know the meaning behind it. Now that you saw the videos and other tweets and this, you have an idea why. Okay, boom, there it is. Let the finger pointing begin. Sussex Squad, racist British media, abolish the monarchy, King Charles the Cool. Alright, so this is what they point. Okay, article, Mail Online, articles Prince Harry claims are the result of hacking actually came from other royals. Alright, the Times, tabloid stories about Prince Harry came from the royal family. Now they finally put it. Okay, it's going to come out in the open now. Please, please, please let Harry's lawyer call Queen Consort, Camilla, King Charles III, and all their past and present PR staff into the witness box to fight this out of popcorn. We want names, date, payments, benefits, the whole shebang, and the light. Yep. Then they say it never happened. Okay, yeah. What was it? I think I have it on the list. One of William's, was it the one who inserted himself? Knauf. Okay, received a medal yesterday from William. Yeah, so the squad was pointing names. There's this. Okay, Senior Palace Source, Royal Insider, Palace Source, Royal Aid. Okay, the bee, the fly, the wasp. All of them. Where's the Knauf guy? Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I'm here for it. I could hear his voice in my head as I read that GIF. Okay, with this heartfelt feeling for all my Sussex Squad family members, I think they none believe should have listened to us long ago, because this headline just confirmed what we already knew. Yep, I love this one, the squad. Okay, this is getting good. Alright, yes, now they're throwing each other under the bus. Okay, yep, here it comes to most of us. Here it is, no surprise. We need proof. In the meantime, we're ready for all the finger pointing. Yep, okay, not enough room left under the bus. There's this. Okay, so let's move on. The squad showing their feeling with GIF, more violence. There's that. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. Okay, so this is a video. So this, I had it earlier yesterday, so I add this to it was on the list way before the other ones that I just shared with you. I'm gonna have to put screenshot of him, because when I share his videos, I don't know, I got flagged, so it's gonna be screenshot. Okay, Harry and Meghan silence over coronation disturbed the media. Hundreds and hundreds of articles, and still front page of the Daily Mail. All right, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Let's listen.
Absolutely freaking out on the Twitter. They're saying that Hazard wore a Dior suit to the coronation. Looked on Dior's Insta and they posted this. This is what they're all freaking out about. Do you know what they're calling him? You know what they're calling him? The King of Hearts. Oh, look at the new Fab Four. Who are these freaks?
I saw it, I skipped
Kevin
it.
De Bruyne scored a cracker for Man City against Real Madrid in the semi-final of the Champions League. And look, there's Kate and Charles. And relax. Trump, the sex attacker. Front page of the Daily Mail. Sarah Vines asking, does Harry have plan B after turning himself into a royal has-been? And is this the... There's hundreds of articles about Harry and Meghan. And they just didn't say anything during the coronation. Is this the end of Trump's new bid to be the president? How are they even debating that? And there's Kate, look, still with the Meghan hat. What's that all about?
Meghan's hat.
Archbishop's kicking off with the Tories at number 10. And you know why? They're bringing in a prison ship for refugees, asylum seekers, people fleeing war, some of the most vulnerable people in the world, and they're going to put them on a prison ship. It's a tool for power. It's for votes. It's disgusting. Keir Starmer, he's not denying he's going to do a pact with the Lib Dems, but he's saying, nah, not the SNP.
I saw all of this, but I decided not to share. I tried to focus on the Sussexes. All the things that he's showing, I saw them on Twitter. I decided not to share them. If PYTE was monetized, what I'm saying right now would have been over there, and then the politics aspect would have been here. But let's focus on the Sussexes only.
In the Telegraph, they're saying, you don't need a degree to be a doctor anymore.
What?
Ration through. So just need an A-level.
What?
Are they serious? Meghan's hiking outfit all sold out. There's hundreds and hundreds of stories about Harry and Meghan in all the newspapers, and they never said nothing. Rishi's still flying and getting an helicopter. Could have got a train, took an hour. These are some of the stories. They're absolutely off the clock. Harry and Meghan, what did they say? They got hired Kim Kardashian's bodyguard.
So many other important things going around the world, but this is the nonsense that they do. This is what I mean, what I was saying. The same group, okay, are the one who's causing the chaos that's going on around the world. Meanwhile, the other bodies are disrupting us, okay, throwing shiny stuff for us to
so that I may talk, squirrel.
To be distracted from the real issues that's going on, the nonsense that they're putting around the world, you know, shuffling people around. Black people is always the casualty of their nonsense, putting them in one place and all of that. This was the thing that was going around the world. All of this, these people are one group that's doing the chaos of that, okay, and then they're throwing those the tabloid nonsense to distract us, and Harry had enough with that. Okay, let's read some of the comment. Okay, she tagged somebody. You are the best news presenter out there. Love your report. There's a laugh. Meghan and Harry need to find a cure for cancer. They will still find a way to talk nonsense about them. Look at this. He just mentioned they assume that doctors only need an A-level of education to do certain, to treat people. All right. And this is why they're messing up the NHS, in my humble opinion. Okay, thousands of miles away and still dominating the news. Yep. Commercial. Okay, this was really good episode. I love this guy. There's the laugh. Thanks. There's the laugh. Okay, so let's move on to the next tweet. Oh, this one is not there. What happened? Did they remove it? This one has to do with Prince William awarding his former press secretary. So this is the one that... oh, did they delete that? Now this is why sometimes I type the first few sentences. I think I have this somewhere. Let's see what happened here. Okay, so there's the one here that I was talking about. Prince William award his former press secretary, the man who tried to help Mel on Sunday, win their case against Meghan, which caused her to miscarry. Okay, so there's that. With all the other things that we heard before, this is that as well. Alright, let's go to the next one. So this one didn't have much of a comment. Okay, there's another version of it. Rewarding people like his peg buddy, Jason Knauf, Prince William is an abuser, shows why the palace remained a toxic mess. Jason voluntarily tried to interfere with the Duchess of Sussex's case. She won twice by siding with the Lady Fell. Knauf soon learned never to mess with the effing. They are effing. Once they start calling, they don't even need to call him. Well, I guess if they have to do small little step first. If they call Knauf, for instance, why did you insert yourself into Meghan things? Well, shouldn't that be private or whatever? But they'll start pointing fingers. All right, or go again. Okay, or go up against an intelligent woman like Meghan. Okay, this is 5 seconds. What is that? Is there a voice? There's no sound. Okay, what allegation? There were never any specific, nor could the palace provide any when Meghan's lawyers asked for point by point breakdown. Staff love running to Tabloid and still nothing. There was no mislead in the court. At least know something before you post. Okay, what are they talking about? I covered this very well. You provide a Tabloid. The thing is that what they're talking about here is that when Meghan was suing the Mail Line for publishing her letter to her father, okay, she tried to do it within the institution. The institution keep on giving her some nonsense, never really pursue it. So when Meghan got tired of it, she decided to leave the royal family alone, the firm, the institution alone. Plus now we know why one of the reasons why they didn't even want to sue it. 2 reasons. One, they didn't even consider her as a working royal, but they should at least saw it as a family member, but they didn't see it that way anyway. And they not only they didn't consider her as a working royal, but also what was the other point? So once the firm did not back her up, Meghan decided to step outside of the firm and do it on her own. Hire her own lawyer instead of the firm's lawyer. And that was a big mistake, because if they have done it to the institution, they could have maybe manage it, control it in a way. I'm talking about the firm. But because they're so short-sighted, they didn't see it that way. So what Meghan did, because they keep on giving her empty promises, she took it outside of the firm, hired her own lawyer, and she won. Now, what happened is that during the trial, Meghan wanted a summary judgment. And then as they were going to give the summary judgment, Knauf out of nowhere, okay, claimed that he was part of the person, like a co-author. That's it, co-author of the letter. Okay, I always put that screenshot of the text messages where Meghan had talked with Knauf regarding her plan and all of that. So in one part, Knauf suggested to Meghan. That's it, suggestion, not writing it, but suggest to Meghan. Okay, I'm paraphrasing now because I don't have the thing in front of me. Why don't you mention in the letter to your father the reason why you're not picking up and all of this, not picking up her phone call and all of that, right? So Meghan said, oh, that's a good idea. I will include it in the revised version. Okay, she's gonna revise the letter and mention it in the letter. Okay, that was it. That was the only thing that I guess they were going about it, to say that he is the co-author. Suggesting and writing something is completely different. When you look at Finding Freedom, where you have Omid and the other lady, I forgot her name right now, Caroline Durant, okay, co-authored the book. I don't know, maybe one chapter, Omid wrote, and the other chapter Caroline wrote. Okay, you have to be the one who took pen to paper, or whatever you're typing, you're the one who wrote it. Okay, this is what meant co-author. But Knauf only suggested and Meghan wrote it. So Meghan was like, okay, show your proof, what you wrote. Okay, that never happened. So Meghan won her case fully, and they were supposed to split the money, whatever the money that she won. Okay, this is where they were waiting for him to say his part. What did you write? He never showed up. Okay, And I think there was a screenshot I did yesterday where I posted on one of those, I think it was on Twitter, and I was coming across where Knauf was saying, the head of the tabloid, the headline was saying, he wished he could have come up, and he better be careful because they might call him on his bluff, because they gave him a chance to come to court to discuss his part, his involvement in the writing of the letter of Meghan wrote to her father, but he never showed up. But headline are saying that Knauf is saying, I'm gonna look for it because I think I saved it, but anyway, that he wished he could have talked and said whatever. We know it's just BS.
Witness statement had no legal significance on the case whatsoever, other than to actually vindicate a lot of what Meghan had been saying about how the letter was never intended to be published, but it was filed because the impact on Meghan's reputation was potentially damaging. The reporting skewered things to make it look falsely as if Meghan had lied, which she absolutely hadn't.
As has been proven time and time again, there's an incentive for the British media to get you to trial, because they can make so much money and they create such a circus around it, which is exactly what they did here. We don't have the resource or the capability or the capacity to be able to stand up to these people, then no one else does.
Okay, what was the ruling? Was this, what did the judgment determine? Okay, there's the laugh, sugar simps, and full force trying to change narrative forever in place. We see you, there's this. She is and will forever be seen as a liar, fraud, hypocrite, trashing the royal family. Alright, so how come all of this? They keep on calling her to court. How come these people never win? But she's always the one who's winning. They have to do their nonsense. Okay? Trashing the royal family. Okay, let's see how far this is gonna go with Harry's thing. Okay, you tag the wrong organization. Try Kensington Royal, a whole incompetent operation that love hiring busted bots and dummies that mirror the likes of you. Of note should be how nobody of substance or value cares how low lives like you view the winning Duchess. Stay mad. Alright, so let's move on. They have to answer themselves. This is what happened. They have, it's like, damn, I just copied the wrong thing. They have money growing tree. So they're hiring people, they're doing their unethical things. I'm talking about the royal family. And then this is the thing that the taxi driver was talking about on the phone. Let me finish the last one. It's like money growing tree for them. And they could pay people to cover up all nonsense. They know they're doing unethical thing. Okay, so that's that. So let's get to this. This is Prince William's parody account on Twitter. Okay, presenting the new Fab Four and the youngest working members of the British royal family. I hope Harry and Meghan sees this and regret their decision for leaving the firm. P.S. I'm not the one wearing the pink tie. It's a parody account, okay? Sir, why didn't you iron your pants? Same reason I don't brush my teeth. Oh my God. That's not true. Oh my God. Are the men not allowed to visit tailors? Okay, yep, and dentists. I'm not gonna be too much, okay? But this is just a parody. Okay, one thing is sure, you will never share that umbrella with KKK. Okay, you know me well. This has to be a Photoshop. Usually we do that to hide Kate's Botox, but not today. What's with the moment looking attire? It's our attempt to compete with Harry's Dior. Oh my God, he's answering almost everything. The future of our country look very bleak if this picture is anything to go by. Okay, it's what Britain deserves. Oh my God, is this really real? Real as the remaining hair on my head. Okay, working, they haven't got a job. How can they be working? Pretending to be like black people is hard work as it is. Henry. Oh my God. Okay, after this, that's it. Given the fact that their children are regularly pushed out by the royal family media unit to provide lovely shots of them getting down with the little people and helping them out, the next generation has already been forced into what passes as a workplace, a planet privilege. Okay, after seeing Harry's Dior, these two clowns, should have done a better job. Bills is wrinkled. The Eddie is too big. Okay, the Eddies is too big, and I don't know what the sister wives were thinking. Okay, you can tell that it's paying them. Right, the Fab Fox. Okay, look oddly familiar. Oh, damn! No! Oh my God! This is okay, that's meant to stop. This is just disgusting. This thing needs to be cleaned every day. Phew. Okay. Next tweet. The article, the link is in the description. I'm not gonna read it. And I think I shared this in the in my community board. And I think it's a thread as well. Okay, let's see here. The Mirror's lawyers state the real source of the story was probably Charles' former press chief Mark Bolland, who had a strong personal relationship with Piers Morgan, implying, quote, Harry should blame his father's aide for intruding for his privacy. Alright, the link of this will be in the description. Okay, Piers Morgan defense against claim that he oversaw widespread phone hacking and other unlawful information gathering while editor of the Mirror's appears to be that Prince Harry wrote a book and gave revealing interviews like both of his parents, Princess Diana and King Charles. Okay, I'm not going to take lectures on privacy invasion from Prince Harry. Amid allegation of phone hacking while he was at the Mirror, Piers Morgan tell ITV News Harry should apologize to the royal family for invasion of privacy he's been perpetrating. Let's see here. 57 seconds. He's pissed.
Hello.
And are you prepared to apologise?
All I'm going to say is I'm not going to take lectures on privacy invasion from Prince Harry, somebody who spent the last 3 years ruthlessly and cynically invading the royal family's privacy for vast commercial gain and told a pack of lies about them. So I suggest he gets out of court and apologises to his family for the disgraceful invasion.
Harry to get out of court? Yeah, right, because his butt is on fire. You see, this is why I had to show the previous videos, okay, in that order. That way you know why he's saying that Harry should get out of the case. Because he's in hot seat himself.
Privacy that he's been perpetrating.
The High Court heard today that there were legal practices.
That's all I got to say. All I got to say.
While you're at the helm. Are you willing to apologise?
Apologise? I think Prince Harry should be apologising for his disgraceful invasion of privacy of the royal family. And others, by the way.
They blur his the house number. Okay, it was clear that Piers Morgan was complicit in phone hacking during the Leveson hearing, and there's even more evidence today. Alright, this is the thing that I went over at the beginning. Okay. Oh, this one I didn't see, the one at the bottom. I'm not gonna share this. This, you know, for the sake of it, just ain't. Yeah, that's the same thing. Never mind. I'm not gonna share this. Okay, during the Leveson hearing, Piers Morgan claimed he didn't know how to hack into someone else's voicemail. He seemed to have a very thorough understanding in 2003. Alright, 30 seconds.
There was a spate of stories that came out because of mobile phones. When they first came out, mobile phones, journalists found out that if the celebrity hadn't changed their PIN code,
you can access their voicemail.
You can access their voicemail just by tapping a number. Now, are you really telling me that journalists aren't going to do that?
Yeah.
If they know they can ring up Charlotte Church's mobile phone, listen to all her messages, right? Now, all you have to do, and I know it's hard because celebrities don't like doing anything for themselves, is actually change your security number.
I've changed my security number.
And now you don't have to worry.
Exactly.
Wow.
There was a spate of stories
that
came out.
You see how people get information from other people? Look at her. She looked like a clueless kind of young lady, you know? Think of the movie Clueless, this type. Meanwhile, she's getting information from him. Alright? So that's one thing. Okay, Bolland resigned for every crime. He can't resign today for this. He has recently resigned for Charles taking £1 million cash and Fortnum carried bags, selling honors and citizenship. Was that him? I think it was somebody else. Okay. Citizenship. No. If you go on PYTE, I have this information. Alright. I covered that. Normally Charles hires him back when the dust has settled. He hasn't been hired back yet. Alright, let's see here. Different palace aide. That's Michael Fawcett. Yeah, I'll show you the video, the thumbnails of that video. I don't remember what I call it, but I remember the thumbnails of it. Okay, they are in trouble. It's just how much trouble. This is only one case. There's 3 others, although their packets aren't as deep. Okay, Camilla, Charles, Murdoch, Brooks, Bolland, Black. All right. Oh my God, more information. Let's see this one. Okay, this might no. I don't think I'm gonna read that. All right, that's it. Pause your screen. If you could read it, read it. This is just too much. Okay, I have a lot more to share with you, and I'm exactly an hour. After this, I'm gonna stop and start a new video. Okay. Happy coronation, Fred and Gladys. Now that the bank holiday celebration, your big party is over, here's a double-decker bus we are throwing you under. Brits Tabloid. Okay, here we go. We've got a tabloid lawyer going with a probably we're only days out. My favorite part of any trial is the actual discovery sharing part. It's just so poofy. Harry should go after them legally with all he has. He just made money from the spare. He could do his thing. Well, most of the money going to charity as well. These are the disgusting criminals. Okay, still PC was aware, and Harry's right again. They should have left his wife alone. Yep, the squad been saying that from the moment I start knowing about the squad. Funnily enough, the link between Charles and the press leaking stories to British media was not mentioned on News at 10. Wow. Very interesting. That's in the UK. I hope this has a damaging effect on sausage fingers. Okay, he resembles Charles a little bit in this picture. Okay, royal family will never take accountability, and that much is sure. Okay, wow, exactly what he's been saying. Okay, I imagine Charles is not enjoying his coronation honeymoon period. Wow, wonder if the royal family will respond if and or when names of those who leak information plus those that are and or were employed by the royal family. I think the response, including no response, will determine the royal family stance. This is really good for that folks can see Harry and Meghan were truthful. Okay, the same way they harass and intrude into Diana. Exactly. If that is their defense, they have to provide evidence and bring those so-called sources forward to court for questioning. Okay, I don't know about this one. This is very tricky. Okay, it's no wonder he was smiling on Saturday. I know when he was working and everybody else was pissed, and I think in one picture William was sleeping or something like that. Well, that won't be anything new, OMG, or this is who they will blame, so Charles and Willie don't have to take responsibility. If they get to the point, guess who don't mind facing them? Harry. Okay, so Piers is throwing his sources under the bus. How on par for that predator. Okay, everybody now wants to shift the blame. They are all complicit, even his father. Okay, well, I think Harry has already said how his family was involved. The West still have to answer for their illegal activity. I think so too, because there were some names he mentioned in his book. So if Harry felt like, if those people he mentioned by name in his book feel like he's defaming them, they should call Harry to court. Okay, so the court is open to anybody. Okay, so none of them took that step, but the people he then mentioned the names, some of them come out without even being mentioned in the book, like behind the pub incident. All right, so that's that. Let's do a prayer, and then I'm gonna go to video 2. All right, let me separate this so I know this is different. Okay, prayer for what? Prayer for justice. And let's say in prosperity to see if something else. And first let's do justice and see what comes. Okay, all right, so we stick with justice. Help us love mercy and act in ways that are just and right. Lord, imprint more of your just character on our soul. Then you will see things like you do and treat every person in a way that honors you. Lord, we long for the days when we will see justice rolling through our street and neighborhoods. This is very good. Let's look for image, whatever is here. Oh, that's just image. What's this? Let's look at this. Okay, God is the divine reserver of all horrible things, and he wants to bring you justice and mercy right now. All right, so let's stick with that because I have more things to share with you. Alright, so that's it with video 1. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Alright, so let's stop, and then we're gonna start the next video.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.